So, how I consistently sleep 8 to 10 hours a day. This will be a beneficial video for people who are not getting any sleep and they want to get more sleep. Well, three things that I noticed. I stopped using an alarm. I went to sleep when I was tired, and I stopped having naps. So those are the three things. You can stop the video now. Well, I might add a few more things, but those are the three that I definitely acknowledged as important. I stopped having an alarm clock. Why? Well, I noticed that, through experimentation, I noticed that if I go to bed at, say, 10, well, I'll wake up at 6. If I go to bed at 11, I'll wake up at 7 or 8. And then if I go to bed at 12, well, then I'll wake up at 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. If I go to bed at 2 a.m., I'll wake up at 10 or 11. So I just noticed consistency in what would happen if I went to sleep. I just noticed what would happen. So that's interesting. I just decided, well, it's better that I just consistently get this 8 hours. So stopped the alarm clock. I just eliminated using it. I was always obsessed with it. Actually, I've done a video where it's like how to force yourself awake. Do I recommend that? Well, you're going to need to somehow wake yourself up. I mean, you don't want to be sleep deprived. I do think that, 8 hours is healthy. Heck, you want to get 10 hours? That's fine. Better to be more productive throughout the day anyways, so get that sleep. And your body will tell you if you need more or less sleep. So make sure it's good quality sleep. And you kind of lump that all together, and there's so much discussion around sleep these days, but listen to your body and go to sleep when you feel you need to. Now, as a result of getting this consistent 8 to 10 hours, I have noticed that I do not need any more naps throughout the day. I don't understand why. Usually I would need more naps. I've done a number of other things to get that consistent sleep, which I'll talk about here, but I didn't need any more naps. I didn't feel tired at all. Well, I got my 8 hours, I'm good. The reason for maybe needing a nap is, you only got 5 or 6 hours of sleep that night. Well, naturally, you're going to feel you might feel tired unless you're well rested after 6 hours. You will probably need a nap, right? And you're going to need it at some point because your body's saying, hey, I still need some more sleep here. So you're going to have to go and nap, and that could disrupt when you fall asleep later in the day. So then you're inconsistently sleeping, and then you might wake up in the middle of the night because you had a nap and it was 2 hours, and it can completely disrupt your flow of things. So then you'll never get that consistent 8 to 10 hours because you're getting fragments. So it's going to affect what happens with your sleeping here. So what are the other things? I've done some tests as far as ensuring that I breathe through my nose when I'm sleeping. So I would tape my mouth shut, and that has helped. When I tape my mouth shut, that forces me to breathe through my nose, which is actually what you want to do. That just helps with consistent breathing throughout the night. If you don't, because I have issues with my jaw opening or snoring and whatnot. So you eliminate the snoring by taping your mouth shut or using a chin strap thing. I think there's a CPAP machine to improve with like sleep apnea, everything else. Like sleep apnea is obviously a big issue. I think I have like a mild form of sleep apnea, but not enough of a concern where I'm gonna like die in my sleep or anything like that. But a simple like piece of tape, you use painter's tape or like a tape, like, I don't know, a plastic tape or whatever from something that's like harm free, so it won't like rip your skin off. Like you just kind of like tape your mouth. You can also get like, what are they? They're like little strips and they have little cuts in them, so it will allow you to breathe through your mouth if you need to. I haven't found an issue. Like I'll tape my mouth shut and I'm good for the night. Now when I don't tape my mouth shut, I notice that I didn't get as good of sleep. So I've gone on and off with that just to test it out. But if you've got any snoring issues, yeah, just force yourself to like breathe through your nose. That's what I think could be really helpful. What other things? Well, if you're having any sort of stimulants, you're eating lots of processed sugar, you are having something at night that'll kind of keep you up, right? Maybe you're eating late at night and that keeps you awake. Hey, I'm guilty of all this. I'm not saying I'm innocent to any of this because, I'm not perfect, but if I avoid eating 2 hours before I sleep, that helps. My body is not digesting a bunch of stuff right off the bat. Like I can't go to sleep if I just had a bunch of food for dinner. I can't go to sleep right after. It's like my body's digesting this stuff. So I let things settle down. I don't drink any water 2 hours before bed. That all kind of helps. So then I get consistent sleep for the 8 hours. And then I just naturally will wake up. And it's been actually really consistent. I will wake up 8 to 10 hours after I fall asleep. Now, what is this? What can I tell you if you're struggling and you're only getting like 4 hours of sleep? Well, maybe look at all these different things. Oh, I also exercise throughout the day. I move. I go for walks. I might go for a run. I might play tennis. I might lift weights. I do try to be fairly active in between doing work projects and whatnot. So by the end of the day, my body's ready to go to sleep. It's ready. It's had its exercise. It's ready to just nod off. So that's what you could do. You could try to exercise your body, get outside, all these different things. Put that a little bit of stress on the body so that by the end of the day, you will just fall asleep. Now, some people need to have that alarm because they gotta have a very specific schedule. They have to go to work. They gotta drive to work. I can understand that. You can make it so that you wake up before your alarm clock, and it's really simple. Get your 8 hours of sleep and have the alarm clock an hour, like the minute you absolutely have to wake up. Well, make sure that you fell asleep 8 to 10 hours before that alarm clock waking you up. It's really that simple, and you will eventually realize the alarm clock you don't even need. But okay, I think I've kind of pretty much covered it. There's so much documentation on sleep that I don't want to drill into it too much, but I have learned that the big thing is like the no alarm clock, because if I have the alarm clock set up too early, I'm actually just going to be tired and I'll snooze back to sleep, right? The snooze button can really destroy you, ruin your day. It really can. So just don't even have the alarm clock to begin with. No snooze. When you wake up, you wake up. Then that's really all you need. And you're good. Sleep when you're tired, ideally to the point where you're not taking naps. There's different phases of sleep. You can do like a chunk of the sleep. You do all 8 hours. I experimented with doing 4 hours, then being up 2 hours, then going back to sleep for another 4 hours. I tried that one time, and I don't know, it didn't really work so much for me, but that's like biphasic sleep, and that actually can work very well for a lot of people. Some researchers have argued that biphasic sleep is the most natural way. So sleep for 4 hours, you wake up for 2, you go back to sleep for 4. Apparently that's the most natural setting. I could understand that. Because maybe you need like a washroom break at night time, and you wake up and you're up for 2 hours, and you go back to sleep. I could understand it being a natural setting. Then you have like the monophasic, which is very standard. You've got your 8 hours, you're good. You can go polyphasic sleep as well. Leonardo da Vinci experimented with this, where you have like sleep an hour, you wake up for an hour, you go back to sleep for an hour, you wake up, and it's like you have multiple sleeps. I don't know, that all just seems very disruptive. But it has been tested, it has been experimented with. It's possible. Is it natural? I don't know. So that's basically how I've been consistently getting 8 to 10 hours of sleep. It's kind of all over the place. Hopefully you get some nuggets from that. Okay, till next time. Bye.